If you're trying to pay off debt on a low income, there are only two methods that actually work. They're called the Snowball and the Avalanche. Everything else you see online is a variation of one of these two. The Avalanche saves you the most money mathematically. The Snowball is what most people actually finish. That difference is the entire video. Because paying off debt is not a math problem, it's a momentum problem. And if I give you the correct method that you quit in month 3, we've done nothing. I'm going to walk you through both, tell you which one wins in which situation, and finish with the 3 quiet moves that speed up either one, moves that work even if your income is small. I'm Mr. Finance, and every week I put real numbers on the money moves everyone talks about but nobody measures. If you want the next one to find you, subscribing takes 1 tap. Now, method 1. Here's how the Snowball works, exactly. Write down every debt you have, credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, whatever. Order them smallest to largest, ignoring the interest rate. Just look at the balance. Pay minimums on every debt. Then throw every extra dollar you can find at the smallest one until it's gone. When that debt hits 0, you take the money you were paying on it, the minimum plus the extra, and roll all of it onto the next smallest debt. Then the next. The math is not the point. The math is actually worse than the alternative. What you're doing is buying momentum. Here's why that matters. If you have 5 debts and you go after the biggest one first, even if it saves you the most in interest, you might work for 8 months and see 0 debts finished. 8 months of grinding, 5 statements still arriving, no visible progress. Most people quit somewhere around month 4. The Snowball hands you a win in month 1 or 2. That first paid in full letter is not just a paid debt. It's proof the system works. It rewires your brain. You keep going. Dave Ramsey built an entire industry on the Snowball because he understood something the finance textbooks got wrong. People don't quit because the math is bad. They quit because they can't see progress. Small wins are what carry you across 2, 3, 4 years of consistent payoff work. Use the Snowball if you have 3 or more debts, if you've quit debt payoff plans before, or if you know yourself well enough to admit that motivation matters more than optimization. Now, the Avalanche. Same list of debts, but this time you resort them by interest rate, highest to lowest, ignoring the balance. Minimums on everything. Every extra dollar at the highest rate debt. When it's gone, roll everything to the next highest rate, then the next. Why? Because interest is what makes debt dangerous. A $10,000 credit card at 24% is bleeding you $200 a month in pure interest. That's $200 that goes nowhere, adds nothing to your life, buys nothing but a piece of a bank's building. Killing that high rate first stops the bleeding fastest. Over a typical multi-year payoff, the Avalanche saves you somewhere between $500 and $2,500 more than the Snowball would have. Not nothing. Real money. But here's the honest part, nobody says. The savings only exist if you finish. If you switch to Snowball halfway through, or quit entirely at month 5, the Avalanche's math advantage evaporates. It only wins if you complete the entire plan without emotional interruption. Use the Avalanche if you're the kind of person who's finished long projects before, if math motivates you more than milestones do, or if your highest rate debt is genuinely huge and killing it first would be visibly satisfying anyway. Here's the honest guidance nobody in the finance community will give you clearly because everyone's trying to sell one side. Pick the Snowball if any of the following is true. You have 3 or more debts. You've tried and quit a payoff plan before. Your smallest debt is under $1,000, meaning you'll get a fast win. Your motivation swings hard month to month. Pick the Avalanche if you have only 1 or 2 debts total. The sort order barely matters. Your highest rate debt is also one of the larger ones. You get math savings and visible progress. You've completed long, boring projects before without needing external wins to keep going. And here's the version nobody teaches. A hybrid. Use the Snowball for the smallest debt to get one fast win, then switch to the Avalanche for the rest. You get the momentum boost and the interest savings. Some financial planners actively recommend this. It's not a compromise, it's the best of both. The wrong answer is not one method or the other. The wrong answer is not starting because you can't decide. 6 months of any consistent plan beats 12 months of research followed by nothing. Whichever method you pick, 3 moves will speed you up by months or years. Especially if your income is small, these matter more, not less. Move 1. Negotiate your interest rates down. This is the move nobody uses because it feels intimidating. Call each credit card and calmly ask for a lower interest rate. Mention you've been a customer for X years, that you've paid on time, and that you'd like to stay with the card if they can help. A significant share of calls succeed, sometimes with a 2 to 5 percentage point drop. On a $5,000 balance at 24%, dropping to 19% saves you $250 a year with zero lifestyle change. A 10-minute call. Move 2. Find $50 to $100 of new monthly income. Not a full side hustle. Just enough to throw at your top debt on top of the minimum. Selling one thing a week online, a few hours of a paid skill, whatever fits. $50 extra a month applied to a $5,000 debt cuts your payoff timeline by roughly 6 months and saves you real interest. Move 3. Protect against new debt while you pay off old debt. This is the trap that sinks half of all payoff plans. People pay off a card, feel accomplished, and slowly rack it back up while they're working on the next one. The debt total looks the same 6 months later. The fix is boring. Cut up the physical cards, or freeze them in a bag of water in your freezer. Yes, really, and switch to a debit card for daily spending until the payoff is done. You are not permanently avoiding credit. You are just refusing to fight 2 fires at once. Whichever method you choose, one habit decides whether it works. Look at your plan once a week, every week, in the same 10 minutes. Same day, same time. Coffee optional. Update the balances. Confirm the automatic payments went through. Notice which debt is closest to zero and picture crossing it off. That's it. 10 minutes a week. Not obsessive tracking, not anxiety. Just visible, regular contact with the plan so it doesn't quietly drift into the thing you were going to do. People who pay off debt in 18 months and people who talk about debt payoff for years share almost identical incomes and identical debt sizes. The only difference is the 10-minute weekly check-in. That single habit, free, boring, undramatic, is what separates them. Snowball or Avalanche. Pick one. Right now before you close the app, based on whichever description sounded more like you. Then find one debt to attack first and put the extra payment on autopilot this week. Not next month. This week. You do not need a perfect method. You need a method you'll still be using in month 9. The debt-free version of you does not care which system got you there. Only that one did. I'm Mr. Finance. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of breakdown. No shame, no gimmicks, just the actual math and what works. And tell me in the comments, are you a Snowball person or an Avalanche person? And if you're currently paying down debt, how many months in are you? I read every one.